Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the football betting series here on YouTube Premier League edition. We've made a really good start to the month of April with 3 wins, 0 losses and 0 pushes for a monthly profit of £49.20. When we add that to the previous month's data, our overall record stands at 154 wins, 62 losses with 22 pushes, and a series profit of £862.18. With the midweek fixtures in the past and the weekends fast approaching, we don't have too much time to get these picks out. Nevertheless, I have 3 picks in today's episode, so if you think I'm talking some sense, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. Without further ado, let's get into it. Sees 15th place Everton playing host to 2nd place Arsenal. And Everton, they lost 1-0 in their last game, the Merseyside derby against Liverpool. Luis Diaz set up Diogo Jota for the only goal of the game, and looking at the numbers, this result really comes to no surprise. Liverpool dominated the possession with 3/4 of the ball, they took over 3 times the amount of shots of Everton, and 3 times the amount of XG generated compared to the Toffees. In terms of form, this result did bring an end to a 9-game unbeaten run for Everton, a stretch which has really seen them secure safety for another season in the Premier League. They host an Arsenal side who beat Fulham in their last game. Mikel Merino got the party started after 37 minutes as his effort deflected off a Fulham defender to drift past a helpless Leno to hand the Gunners a 1-0 lead. And then Bukayo Saka returned from injury, coming off the bench to score Arsenal's 2nd goal of the game a few minutes after coming on the pitch. And this goal would prove vital as Rodrigo Muñoz added another for Fulham in the 94th minute, which in the end proved to be a consolation goal with the final scores ending 2-1 to Arsenal. In terms of form, that's now back-to-back wins for the Gunners, and they are unbeaten in their last 4 Premier League fixtures. When we take a look at the head-to-head record, the last encounter between these sides did end goalless, much to the disappointment of Arsenal fans. The Gunners held over 75% of the ball and took 6 times the amount of efforts as Everton, and had an XG that was around 13 times greater than their visitors, but they just couldn't find the breakthrough. Everton offered very little but managed to keep the game tight at the back, earning a point from the match. Longer term, that result did break a 3-game winning streak for Arsenal over Everton, although the North London side are now unbeaten in the last 4 competitive encounters. My prediction for today's game is that Everton have put together a really solid run of form over the past few months, and that run has seen them secure safety for another season of the Premier League, but that does mean that we are faced with one big question: is what do Everton have to play for? On the other hand, Arsenal is still trying to pick up points and pray for Liverpool's downfall, as they're going to be pushing for the title this season. As such, I really think that Arsenal have the proper motivation for this fixture, and I was close to backing them outright for a full stake, but in light of the Real Madrid game coming up in the midweek, I'm going to take Arsenal to win for a half stake here in bet number 1. Our second selection is the Manchester derby, and it sees 13th place Manchester United playing host to 4th place Manchester City. And Manchester United, they suffered defeat in their last match at the hands of 3rd place Nottingham Forest. The Red Devils' poor business dealings have come back to haunt them once again as ex-academy player Anthony Elanga scored for Nottingham Forest after just 5 minutes. A poor Manchester United corner was cleared away into the path of Elanga, who drove forward on the counter-attack, dribbling through the Red Devils' defence before picking his spot and passing the ball into the back of the net. Taking a look at the numbers, we can see that Manchester United did dominate most of the match, but Forest held firm to secure their 1-0 win. In terms of form, that loss did break a 4-game unbeaten run for Manchester United, although 2 wins against the relegation candidates of Ipswich Town and Leicester City is nothing to write home about. They host a Manchester City side who cruised past Leicester in a routine 2-0 win at the Etihad in their last match. Jack Grealish and Omar Marmoush scored after 30 minutes of the match to kill the game as a contest, and from there on out the match was basically a training drill, with Leicester only producing 2 shots in the entire game, both efforts of which were off target. When we take a look at Manchester City's form, it's been very mixed of late. 1 win, 1 draw and 1 defeat over the last 3 Premier League fixtures. When we take a look at the head-to-head record, the reverse fixture between these sides took place in mid-December at the Etihad. Manchester City took the lead through Vardiol in the first half, and it looked for the longest time as if the citizens would hold on for a 1-0 victory. However, a penalty was scored in the 88th minute by Bruno Fernandes, which gave the Red Devils some hope, and that hope would quickly be realised on the stroke of 90 minutes as Amad Diallo timed his run to perfection before lifting the ball over Ederson and tucking away a winning goal in cool style, 2-1 to Manchester United on Derby Day. That result means that Manchester United are unbeaten in their last 3 Manchester derbies. This does include the Community Shield at the start of the season as well. My prediction for today's game is that This season has been a rough one for both Manchester sides for two different reasons. As Manchester City may fall short of a top 4 spot, and Manchester United may even fail to finish in the top half for the longest time. As such, I don't think I can really have faith in either side to pick up a victory here, but I like goals. Manchester United have seen both teams to score in 3 of their last 5 games, and in 4 of their last 5 matches at Old Trafford. Whereas Manchester City, they've only seen both teams to score in 1 of their last 6 Premier League games, and in only 2 of their last 5 away games. However, taking a look at the head-to-head record, both teams to score has happened in each of the last 4, as well as 7 of the last 8 derby games, so I'm going to be backing both teams to score for a full stake here in bet number 2. Our third and final selection in today's episode sees 19th place Leicester City playing host to 5th place Newcastle. Leicester City were absolutely outclassed in their last game against Manchester City. The Foxes found themselves 2-0 behind after 30 minutes, and 2-0 would be the final score as well. Taking a look at the stats, we can see how big the distance was between the two sides. Man City generated 32 times the amount of XG as their visitors, without really breaking a sweat. In terms of form, that result did mean that Leicester City have now lost each of the last 7 Premier League games, and they do seem destined for the Championship. They host a Newcastle side who bested Brentford in their last Premier League game. Isaac opened the scoring just on the stroke of half-time, with Mbuemo levelling the scores from the penalty spot around the hour mark. However, this parity would not last for very long. Sandro Tonali found the winning goal 8 minutes later to hand Newcastle a 2-1 victory. In terms of form, that does mean that Newcastle have won 3 of their last 4 Premier League games, as they look set to secure the 5th spot in the Premiership this season. When we take a look at the head-to-head record, Newcastle United hammered Leicester in their last matchup, winning 4 goals to 0. All 4 goals were scored in a 30-minute period around half-time, and taking a look at the numbers, we can see that the match was as one-sided as the scoreline does indicate. Newcastle won out on every major win predictor statistic and generated a massive 23 times higher XG than their visitors. Longer term, that result for Newcastle made it 5 competitive matches in a row without losing to the Foxes. My prediction for today's game is that with the Carabao Cup last month, the Magpies will be high on confidence and ready to pick up another 3 points as they look to press Manchester City for a top 4 spot. Leicester City, on the other hand, are all but relegated, and I can't really see them causing Newcastle any significant concerns here. So with all that in mind, I'm going to back Newcastle to win for a full stake here in bet number 3. So there we have it, 3 picks in today's episode, starting off on the Saturday with Everton versus Arsenal. We're going to be backing Arsenal at odds of 1.8, a £20 half stake to return 16. Moving on to the Sunday, we have the Manchester Derby, and we're going to be backing both teams to score at odds of 1.61, a £40 full stake to return 24.40. Then finishing up the weekend on the Monday night, Leicester City hosts Newcastle. We're going to be backing the away side at odds of 1.51, a £40 full stake to return £20.40. So across the weekend, we're going to be risking £100 to hopefully pick up as much as £60.80. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into the next episode. But if you have made it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. Don't forget to check out the pinned comment for the continental picks down below. And as always, have yourself a lovely day.